I'm trying something new.
I'm saying that's what this is all about.
This is risky. You know you hear a difference. Okay, after playing with my lighting for the better half of 50 years and getting my setup straight, I am finally ready to start this video. I hope this lighting isn't too distracting. I just really like the ambiance, and it's literally blizzarding outside. So if it was up to me, it would be a nice sunny day at peak hours, but I just don't have that luxury right now because I'm Canadian. Here's a little close-up on the makeup look. Don't look too close because then you'll see my lash lifting. Ooh, not my edges lifting up, damn. This was definitely inspired by more of like a Maddie type direction. Let me know if you want to see a makeup look for something like this, because I did do a soft makeup look, more like an everyday type of look. Please let me know, leave a comment down below if that's something you would want to see. I wouldn't mind making that. Again, I have a dog, so you're gonna hear noises and just know that it's him. His name is Flint. Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, you do not know what you just got yourself into. You just quite literally opened Pandora's box. But who knows, maybe you'll like it, maybe you'll stick around, like, subscribe. Not to be that type, but I mean I had to bust out the mic for this one because you guys need to hear what I'm saying in HD. I'm about to go in. Let's just get into the video. Euphoria is bad. Just for reference, a little background. Recently 21 years old, watching this second season. You know, they're filming through COVID. Boom, boom, boom. That I feel like is irrelevant to why this show is so bad. There are multiple things that is bad with it, okay? I'm not about to nitpick the acting or whatever. That's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about Mr. Sam Levingston himself and his awful writing. Every single time I film, there's a bunch of lint everywhere. I don't understand. Stop. You're embarrassing me. You could just tell. You could just tell that this was written by a single person. Not reviewed, not drafted, not anything of the sort. Just me watching it, I could have named 5 things in like the first 5 seconds. He could have did better. But to keep this video mostly cohesive, because I still feel like I'm gonna go off on a tangent on multiple rants. Like, it had so much potential of actually being something good, like a stamp in pop culture where it's like, oh, this is a great perspective, you got to watch it when everyone's like, watch Breaking Bad, you know? It really had the potential to be that next generation of that type of show. I'm telling you, in the beginning, it had potential. Some of you might come for me being like, no, it's not comparable to Breaking Bad, which that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it could have been on the same stature. It's not about the way it looks. It's not about the aesthetics. It's literally not about any of that. It's about the writing, the script. It was awful. Let's just get into it. Should I take this $5? No, y'all need to know I'm balling. I'm just gonna go down my notes on Euphoria Sucks. That's literally what I named it. Okay, just to keep it cohesive, we're gonna do it cohesive. Is that my favorite word? Damn. Just to keep it structured, we're gonna go episode by episode because I rewatched it. Yep, that too. Just a disclaimer, I've already watched the season in its entirety, and I just had so many things that bugged me. I was like, I gotta get this off my chest. So I went back to rewatch it to specifically pinpoint my issue. For this video, we're only going up to episode 4. If you guys do like this video and if this is something you want to hear more about, please let me know in the comments. We'll do up to episode 8. By all means, drag me to filth in the comments if you disagree. Let your girl know. 6 minutes in, the takeaway. I understand this is an 18+, but it's not rated R. Why am I seeing so much ass? And nowhere in TV have I seen so much nudity unless it was a literal. Like, what am I watching? At my grown age, let's just say that. At my grown age, I was still like, this is a lot. Like, we get it. We get that they're strippers. I don't need to see that. You know? You know the scene I'm talking about. There's some certain scenes where it was just like, overdoing it. We didn't need to see that. That did not add anything to the story besides an extra pair of tits. I just did not get it. Everything is, I feel like, is alleged when it comes to writing. There's nothing that's very definitive about this writing, and you'll know what I mean. I don't know if I'm wording it right, but I feel like you guys understand what I'm saying. Like, especially when every episode came out, and if you're on TikTok, I am. It's at Loc Count on TikTok. I'll leave it in the description down below. But if you were on TikTok during when all of these episodes were coming out, bro, nobody had the same things to say. Everybody had their conspiracies. The writing was just so loose. Like, I don't know how to explain it, bro. Girls say it, don't spray it. Damn. The girls that get it, get it. The girls that don't, for real, I feel like every time I got on TikTok, there was so much conspiracy theories of what was going to happen. And I guess, I don't know if that's a good thing. I feel like there shouldn't be this much misunderstanding where people are drawing conclusions from what just happened and then taking it to the moon with what's about to happen. Like, that does not make sense to me. With a good show, it has to be cohesive. Like, people should kind of know what to expect, but not know how you're going to do it. You feel me? Let me not even, I'm getting ahead of myself, bro. Everything felt so up for debate. It didn't make any sense. It was getting tired where I was just like, oh my gosh, this is too much. I'm getting a headache and I don't know what to think.
Man, get out of here!
So she essentially kidnaps Fesco, and like, say what you want, but that's what it was. I'm just saying it how it is. Like, she just took the kid from a supposedly abusive environment, okay, but just to put him into a worse environment in dangerous situations every day, how is that better? How is that better? I feel like it's not better. Like, if anything, it's worse. It was worse. Okay, he inherited the convenience store or whatever, but his main source of income is dealing. That's what she taught him, not to be an
upstanding businessman.
No, it was to deal some and get in trouble for it. Like, you could say, well, that's how she was. I don't know. But my stance on it is that it was not better that she took Fesco, because regardless, he could have inherited the business without doing the drug dealing. What? Anyways, I might have missed this part, but why is she sick? How did she get sick? She don't talk, she don't speak, she's a corpse. But why? What happened? Did I miss that part? If I did, please leave it in the comment down below and educate your girl, because I rewatched the whole season where it's supposedly going into the backstory of Fesco with his grandma, but they skipped the part where they tell us how she got sick or why she's sick. I don't know. I definitely could have missed that part, but I don't think I did. Let your girl know, because I don't understand why she's sick. Did she just, like, natural things? Like, they don't really even say it. Like, why is she sick? I'm sorry. When I say I cannot remember anything that happened in season 1, I really can't. The whole aesthetic for this season is just different too. Like, it's like I'm watching a whole new show, because they don't connect anything from the last season. So I was like, okay, I don't have to watch it. I don't have to remind myself, which they should have did. They should have been like, in the last season, because, you know, they should have, like, written that in or something. Like, I feel like they should have did a Loc Count recap, or like, oh, this is what happened. You know, I feel like we shouldn't just have kept going like nothing happened. Everything changed. Everything changed, except for, like, the main storyline where, you know, Rue's still a addict and Maddie's finding herself, and, you know, like, those storylines. But still, Ashtray and Fesco, I'm just not buying what they're selling. I just can't. They're supposedly very, very, very close, but they never showed us anything where they were bonding besides, like, the drug dealing, whatever. I'm gonna get in on Ashtray in a second. Just you wait. What I really would have liked to see is that, oh, maybe the man was helping him with his homework or throwing a ball or something to show how close they really were, or where they were in an instance it was really just them. Like, you know, you never see that. Even though I understand Fesco is not an actor, I just don't buy their close relationship. I can't buy what they're selling. I can't. Now, Ash, why is this... Ooh. Can I call him that? But why is his first instinct to kill? No questions asked. In every instance, if he just waited like a minute longer, he would realize that he did not need to kill this person. He just didn't need to. He didn't have to. Obviously, Ashtray isn't right. Now he's a liability. Stop giving the kid because all he does is kill. His first instinct is to kill, and he did not need to do half of the stuff he did. Like, it, most of the time, it just bothered me. I was like, why did you do that? Do they tell us why he did that? They don't dwell in it for a second longer. It just made Ashtray a dislikable character because I was just like, he's going to mess something up where it's just going to complicate things for Fezco, the one we're actually rooting for as a viewer. I'm just saying. When you know he's supposed to be the bad guy, you're like rooting for him. Everybody loves Fezco. This is not a secret. But Ashtray, oh my god. Let's just say I did not feel bad. I did not shed one tear. In fact, I felt relieved. I hate how he meaning Sam Levin, Steve's, what's his name? Whatever. He does a really bad job of like crossing paths with other characters. It felt very isolated unless it was to further the plot. Like, what he did do good was Jules and the relationship she had with Kat. But Kat had it right when she said, we would not be talking and we would not be friends if you did find Rue, because that's all he focuses on. He doesn't focus on the outer relationships around them. They're supposed to be a part of this one big group, but you wouldn't know it. Fezco and Rue had like maybe a couple instances and then they never cross paths again. They barely do if they do, unless it's for the plot, which is so annoying. I feel like you need to build relationships when building this universe because it's an important part of the story. Like Rue's situation needs a support system. It should be shown through her friends. I don't know how that just like went over his head, but okay. It really could just be me. I understand it was an artistic decision, a choice. I understand that. I should understand why I'm looking at this, or at least be able to draw a conclusion. For some of the artsy scenes, I just didn't get it. I was like, why is this happening? It was very beautiful. It was very pretty. It was very well done, like cinematography at a 10. But I just didn't get it. And I feel like as an average viewer, I should get it. I feel like it's trying a little too hard with the artsy scenes to do what it thinks it's doing, but it's not quite doing it. I would just like to reinstate that this is fully my opinion and how I perceived the show from my perspective. And then when I went back to watch it, I still didn't get it. I just couldn't draw a definitive conclusion where I was like, we're seeing this because sometimes it's just like, why are we seeing this? For a lot of the time, if I'm being honest. Okay, but now we're gonna get a little serious because trigger warning, drinking, drunk driving, alcohol abuse. Wow, it's Euphoria, but this instance for me particularly just felt so wrong. Seeing how many times Nate Jacobs and his dad like drunk driving, but had no consequences, not at all, not a suspended license, nothing happened to them for drinking and driving, which it should have. The way they were depicting the drunk driving, maybe he had thought that he was going to go in a different direction with it and just abandoned it. And it's not like I had a couple beers and yeah, I'm tipsy, but I could still drive. It's no, very drunk driving in the other lane. There is no reason why they had absolutely no consequences, not one. Like, something should have happened. At least like pulled the man over. Like, huh? It was never even addressed. And the way they were opening the beer with their teeth, you just know their teeth is messed up. Like, my mom is a dental hygienist. It makes her cringe because it does so much damage. And they do it every single time. Like, first of all, Nate Jacobs is a giant. If you don't flick that cap off, we know you can. When you really see Nate Jacobs in some scenes, like the way he was towering over everybody when he was like passing Cassie in the hallway and everything, the way he was towering over everybody in that scene, you would think he was like 9 feet tall because he's so large. He's a giant. Like, I don't see it in real life. I only see it on the camera, so I don't know where it's coming from. Like, I can't even say, oh, let me just dust this off, you know? I really don't understand. But what I really wish is that we saw more of like the group crossover. And I'm not saying like crossover as in, no, they're all a part of one friend group, which I forget because you would think they're in different like friend groups because they don't cross paths like that. But they're all a part of one friend group. And I wish we saw more of that. More of like, say, Maddie and Rue's relationship or Cassie and Rue's relationship. They're close enough for Cassie to be calling her Ruru, which was a shock to me because I'm like, you were cool with her like that? Like, I wouldn't know it. I feel like that's an important part. I don't know. That could just be me, though. How many times am I gonna say, like, that could just be me? But I don't think it's only me. But definitely tell me if it's only me in the comments below so I can kind of grasp, like, if I'm being extra. Let your girl know. This could just be me. But when this man... Okay, I love me some Elliot. Imagine my shock when I found out this man's apple tattoo on his face was real. I thought it was fake. I thought it was just for the show. Like, they even pointed it out. Like, oh, it's my face tattoo, isn't it? Personally, I was like, for me, it is. Because apple on your face, not even like a Nike swoop or something cooler to look at. Like, another thing, the excessive full frontal. I know for a fact I did not need to see that much wee. I don't know what I can and can't say on YouTube yet. I'm fairly new to this, and I felt like it was for like shock factor, and it really took away from the plot. I was seeing peen every 2 seconds. Like, it didn't even make sense half the time. And then you find out that some of the actors and actresses were like arguing with the producer, Sam. What is his name? Steve? I feel like his name is Steve. Whatever, arguing with him because they felt like the full frontal was just excessive. Like, it didn't make sense half the time. And I agree. In some cases, I was like, okay, it makes sense. In other cases, I was like, this does not make sense. Like, why did I need to see Cal? Like, and it was really traumatizing because you didn't even know it was coming. You couldn't brace yourself for anything. It was a lot. It was too much. If I'm being honest, it was too much. Nate being possessive straight off the bat. The way this was up for debate on TikTok, I don't know what they're going on about, but why did he do that? No, Sam, Steve, can I call you Steve? Why? No, I really want to know why. What was the reason? What was, like, was he just being a macho man? Like, I feel like that needs to be answered because everyone was confused. We were like, it was weird, first of all. But it was never, like, confirmed why he did that. It could take one sentence to confirm it. Be like, if he confirmed, like, oh, yeah, Cassie, you're my property or something, that would make more sense. Because then it would be like, okay, he's misogynistic. He's sick in the head. He sees women as his property. So he probably just was being possessive over his property. It just takes one sentence. One. That's all I'm saying. When I watched that shit was crazy. I was like, I know McKay was standing there shaking in his boots because he's enormous. Like, are you joking? At this point, Euphoria has already been out. If you haven't seen the show by now, what are you doing in this video? Because you're not gonna get it, because a lot of this will make more sense. But Maddie needs some lessons from Fezco, bro. What? At the end of that first episode, we can all agree, right? We can all agree. Yeah. Like I said, I already watched the whole season, so there's a little overlap, but the girls know. Moving on. What was with the hypothetical birth that Cassie was going through? Why? I say why so many times, but what? I don't get it. Maybe there's just something I'm missing. Maybe it's just me and there's just something I'm missing. I understand, like, the parallel, but why did we go through this length for this hypothetical? Like, we all talking about Miss Dusty, Cassandra. Why does she not, like, shower? Lexi said, you still have Nate's blood on you? Wash it off. Those are simple instructions to abide by, you know. Water, soap, maybe a rag. I mean, I know people don't use rags, or a loofah, okay? A loofah. Why did this girl get a makeup wipe and then rub it off? Why did she not shower? Was that supposed to be like something substantial? Because to me, it's just dirty. Why? Sam! Steve! That's what I'm talking about. Like, there's just so many things that happened that just didn't make sense. The thing is, like, she didn't need to be taking a full-on shower. She could have just, like, been in the bath, had the water running, and use a rag. If she didn't want to, like, take a shower, fine. But, like, even in the sink and take, you know, one of them bird baths, why did she just use makeup? Like, and she didn't even get everything? Oh, my God. What happens to Theo and the husband? I already forgot who these people are. Who? Theo. Yeah, the little boy and the husband. Okay. How come we never see the husband that she's supposedly babysitting for? They don't even say like, oh yeah, he's a busy man. He's always traveling. Nothing. We don't hear nothing about this man. All you need is one line. All you need is one line kind of explaining their role, why they're there in a conversation maybe. But no, everything is hypothetical. So, you know, this girl who had the one-liner who was talking about remember when I was pregnant? Who is she? Who is she? What's her name? My biggest issue is like the lack of character development because we don't even learn the girl's name. And she's talking about, remember when I was pregnant? I don't. Who the are you? And Maddie's like, yeah, but not like that. We know her. Just dwelling on it even a little more or just writing that scene better would have had me have a lot less questions. Mention her name once, maybe. They just don't elaborate. It's just so annoying. I should not be asking myself why so many times. This shouldn't be a thing. Another one of my big issues was like in the first 4 episodes, they never show what's real and what's fake. It's very hard to decipher what's fake is what I'm trying to say. Maybe there's a reason for that. Like in certain situations, it makes sense. Like where Cassie was going on her little monologue, rant, whatever. In that situation, it makes sense. But in other times, like when Cal did that, I was shocked. Just to find out it's not real, it just feels gimmicky. Like I hated it. If you're gonna do it that many times, like do the faking out, whatever, that many times, have a different color scheme or something. Make it a tint of blue or something so that people, even if they don't see it at first, can then later like decipher what is real, what is fake. Because even when rewatching this, I did not see a difference and it bugged me. It just felt like it was for shock value, just like the full frontal. Episode 1 was great. I was like, oh my gosh, it got me so hyped. By episode 2, I was like, oh, this is not about to be what I thought it was. Like, but I stuck it through because I was like, maybe it'll get better. And in some cases it did, but in a lot of places it was lacking. I feel like we should have overlapped maybe just a little bit, maybe just a smidge of why Nate deserved it, because I cannot remember why Nate deserved it. Why did he deserve it? And I'm not about to go back and watch season 1. I don't want to. Why did Nate deserve it? Can somebody remind me in the comments, because I cannot for the life of me remember why he deserved it. I think they went over it with his dad but I can't remember like why, what was the reason? By the amount of times Rue mentions smoking a little bit of, you would have thought the episode was called Smoking a Little Bit of. Why did she say it like that? I get maybe it was to minimize that like smoking weed is very minuscule compared to doing, which it is. Every single time you mention it just loses its value. Like, no, I'm just smoking a little bit. Just say you smoke. Nobody's gonna care. Like, nobody cares that you smoke a little bit of girl. Damn. I feel like Elliot was the only sane person. Like, Elliot was asking all the right questions. Every single question I was asking myself, Elliot was asking. I was like, yes, finally. Elliot's character was the only one that made sense to me. I didn't have to question about him. I didn't have to take any guesses with him. Nothing. It made sense. I don't understand why Jewel was asking these questions. Like, okay, maybe she was a little jealous, but then later on you see that it wasn't from jealousy, because then they were all friends and doing the kumbaya and kissing each other, and I was just like, what is going on? I'm confused. What was the importance of that interrogation? Nothing. I was just as uncomfortable as Elliot was, because I was like, this is weird. Why are you asking him about his preferences? Why? Why is this important? And my whole thing is, how come everybody and their grandma can see how messed up Rue is on a day-to-day basis, but Jules? Is Jules blind? Because everybody could see it. For those who don't even have to see it, they know for sure. Except for Jules. Like, Jules, you're supposed to supposedly be her girlfriend. Can you not taste it on her lips? Like, I don't understand. I just didn't get how Jules was just so oblivious. But then she, at the end, was her saving grace and went to her mom. Like, what? I think I missed a step because I did not get it, girl. I did not get it at all. My girl Cassie, she's a runner, she's a track star. Every time she is confronted with confrontation, this girl's doing the dash, bro. But this girl hopped out the car already drunk before getting to the party. Damn, girl. Like, if you're gonna pregame, the goal isn't to get drunk. I mean, sometimes it happens, whatever, but like, come on. From then, I knew my girl was gonna be a damn mess. Cause what? And it's always from a car. With Lexi and then again with Nate, it's a weird approach, but okay. She just ran to nowhere. Like, there was no real destination or reason. This girl ran into a construction site. Why was it that easy to get into a construction site and get on like the second floor of the house? Like, what? In Kat's words, that's a choice. How it just ended up, I was just like, why? There's so many times I'm saying why. Like, why is this happening? Like, why did he give that whole speech trying to do the right thing just to chase after her and be like, oh, well, I tried. Like, what? Wait, do I still go on? Oh my God, I still go on. I thought it was at the end. Straight off the bat, feet. The feet in the mouth. I know people have like foot fetishes, but I'm not one of them. And I could have went without seeing straight out of a shoe into a mouth. But what I really liked is this type of narration. If they did the whole season in this type of narration, it would have been 10 times better if Rue had narrated and conducted the whole season like this. With Elliot too, with whoever, with different characters. It would have made it so much better, I feel like. This is kind of disorienting. But so is Euphoria. So, guys, okay. What's your guess on Euphoria? What's your guess on Jules' body count? It's definitely above 100 for sure. Especially if you're getting them off dating apps in this world of dating apps. For it to be an issue, has to be over 150, I feel like. So my guess is 163. What's your guess? Leave it down in the comments down below. But who knows? That's just my theory. That's my conspiracy. My one and only conspiracy is that she has 163 bodies. There was just so many artistic adventures they took, which, okay, some of them are good, but the way they chose to break the third wall was just odd. This is a strange angle to take it, but okay. You know, when Cassie and Nate were having their whole debacle where she was getting up at 4 a.m., whatever the case may be. Does Cassie not register that she literally had to look like Maddie before she even got his attention? And it's probably not the attention she wanted. Like, I guess any attention she wanted from him was the attention she wanted, but like, they look exactly the same, which was obviously intentional. I just think Nate was thinking like, girl, what the There's no way he was having any good thoughts when he was looking at her. It's not doing what you think it's doing. And then we're getting into the B scene. My least favorite scene of all. You guys already know what I'm gonna say. It was just very off. Like, I don't even really understand the significance. But let me just say, the one thing that Cal forgot to mention on his list of the people he likes to mess with is children. The Oklahoma scene, oh my God, the writing was so bad. Like, it just pissed me off. Like, why are we saying Oklahoma so many times? I don't get it. And it's annoying. It's just bad writing. Why are you saying I'm from Oklahoma? Oklahoma. Like, how many times can you say Oklahoma? Like, was it a bet or something? Was he, what? Something happening behind the scenes that we don't know about that is like, oh, well, if you could get Oklahoma in this scene 7 times, I'm going to give you 100 grand. Because there's no way this man filmed that scene and said this was a good scene. Yeah, no. And then when Cassie and Nate just being loud as hell, first of all, that's disrespectful. It could just be me, but no way am I going into somebody's house, like say somebody else's parents' house, like, you, whatever. No way am I going into somebody's house being that loud, knowing that they're downstairs. And my boy Cal cannot take a hint, but he probably just didn't want to mess with her, like, and she needs to take a hint. Like, what? If you don't get yourself in some entanglements like this man has been, there's a lot of reoccurring themes. Unnecessary nudity, unnecessary shock factor, confusion. When Fesco said, bro, you're confused, I'm confused, me too. Me 3, I'm confused. Oh yeah, so Jules went about not trusting Eli and whatever, right? And I was just like, Rue's literally the only person you shouldn't trust. She talked about knowing this man from New Year's, And now all of a sudden you want to ask him questions about, oh, I don't trust you. Why don't I trust you? It's Rue you don't trust. He didn't even know that she was keeping him a secret per se. Like, girl, it's not him. And I hate how dumb they make Jules seem. Like, I hate how dumb they make her look, because I know my girl is not that dumb. I know she can't be. Also, Jules is artistic. How come we don't see more of that? Like, I did not know Jules was artistic. Like, Jules could have been, I don't know, creating some of the sets for Lexi's play. This is what I'm talking about. Like, just the little things would have made more sense. Oh yeah, she's artistic, because Eli was going on, you're artistic, you're really smart. Oh yeah, she's artistic. But I wouldn't have forgot that if I seen her being artistic, you know? And another thing that I know a lot of people in specifically the Black community with Black moms found were that there is no way that Rue would come in with a suitcase. And it's not even like she had her excuse. She was auditioning. When your kid has a problem that Rue has, you're patting her down every single time. I don't care. I would pat my kid down every single time. That may be exhausting, but even if you didn't pat them down, if they're coming in with a big ass suitcase into my house, where did you get that suitcase? What's in the suitcase? It takes one question and you're getting questions. When I come home with food, mom was like, what did you get? Like, what? That situation, even when they're on the phone, that just doesn't happen. If they were on the phone, they would have been telling who was ever on the phone too. Like, girl, you will never believe what the Rue just did. Like, I'm just saying, that's just the culture. Yes, it's toxic. Yes, it has its issues, but that's just the culture. And I just don't believe that she did not get not one question. And then she's gonna lie and say, oh yeah, she's doing really good. No. Also, who is she talking to on the phone? A friend, an acquaintance? It has to be an acquaintance, because maybe she's just not trying to tell her business like that. That would make more sense, but we never know. And she's not doing well. I hate how they did that. Like, she's doing so bad. She's about to be in the lowest point she's ever been, like rock bottom. She's a suitcase full of narcotics, but she's doing so well. No. I just feel like there's so many other ways that he could have showed that, portrayed that. Like, and then these are just some takeaways. Like, everyone Rue's depicting, but they cannot kill off the main character. So I don't know why they did that. Maybe if they made it Jules, it would have been like, oh my gosh, Jules gonna like. But they're not about to kill off the main character, or maybe they are, but who knows? They're just too many loose ends, too many artistic takes that just doesn't make sense. Like, Rue started to get clean by the end of the season. So it's just like, so you did all of this. I feel like if they were going to make Rue be at rock bottom, they should have made her stay at rock bottom a little longer, maybe to the end of the season, and then show her swinging up in the third season. She was just bad and then good, just like that. I just don't get it, and I don't understand where it's going either. I'm only going to watch the third season because I'm already this deep, but I don't know, unless it really does fill in the holes. Social media has an influence on shows. It definitely does. Steve is probably looking at seeing all of these questions being asked, and is ultimately going to wrap it up or conclude it. Yeah, but I feel like there shouldn't be this many questions to begin with. At the end of the season, these questions should have been answered already. It should not be answered in the next season. It just doesn't make sense. I'm not about to say anything about Gia, because Gia didn't have a significant presence. The only thing is like, why was she singing like that? But because that looked uncomfortable as hell. I have nothing to say about her. And then that whole argument, I feel like I feel like Cassie was just trying really hard to be Maddie in that scene, like give him the toxicity he was like yearning for. I think even though that whole scene was a mess, like it was just weird, it was just awkward, the writing was bad. That whole scene, I feel like, was an attempt of Cassie like being Maddie, but I'm crazier. Girl, nobody believes that. First of all, he could step on you like an ant. Don't do that. And then just being hypocritical in like the same scene, the same sentence, it just made me laugh. I couldn't take the scene seriously when it was probably supposed to be a really intense, serious scene. I just couldn't take it seriously. I was just like, oh, okay. I mean, I could maybe understand why Cassie is the way she is because of her mom, how she's throwing a party for her daughter's friend and then brings them all over and then drinks with them and be like, oh, don't tell your parents. And that's messed up, bro. At the time, it would have been like, oh, this is cool. But once I reached 20, I would have been like, that was fucked up. That shouldn't have happened. Those are not even your kids. I don't care if it's like, oh, it's the best friend. I don't care. Those are not your kids. Those are not your kids. And if the best friends are that close, you should know Maddie's mom. So like, but that's not even an excuse. That's just weird, bro. It's just weird. I don't know, but it's just weird. And then circling back with the whole Jules and Eli situation, it's just weird that her whole issue with Eli, or sorry, not Eli. I know his name is Elliot. I keep calling him, I wrote it in my notes as Eli, but I know his name is Elliot. So sorry. But her whole issue with Elliot was that he was trying to get with Rue, but then guess what? They're all getting with each other. Like, what's that about, Steve? Come on. This whole show, bro. I know a lot of people are like, would argue like, oh, this is just supposed to be a realistic depiction. Like, if you don't think it's realistic, whatever. I'm not about to go in with it. But you know, if you're on TikTok, you would know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, sorry. A lot of people were saying that, oh, it is a real depiction. Like, really trying to defend this show. It's normalizing. And I mean, like, I didn't get that from this show at all. They weren't making cool. What they were normalizing is drinking and driving because not one consequence. I'm still on that. Yup. So they get, but then you leave the in the back with the and then, or sorry, can I say that on YouTube? And then you leave with her and then get mad that she's drinking. I mean, she always just smokes a little bit. Why would you think she was also going to drink? What? You cannot condone one thing and then get mad that she does the other. And at this point, Jules is oblivious to the fact that Rue even does drink. So where Elliot was legitimately worried and like, you shouldn't do that, Jules was like, yeah, why are you drinking? What? Yeah. Like trying to make it seem like she cared when she probably didn't. Because how can you not even tell? Why would you even leave it in the back with her? It was giving very imposter. And then they never drank. Like, they're just nitpicky, but like they did all of that and then didn't even drink. Like, and there's no way I would drop my cross-faded friend on the side of the road at night. What? I don't care. There's no way. I don't know if she was dropped off in front of her house or whatever, but there's no way I would just drop my cross-faded friend at the side of the road. Like, this girl's not, like, she's high. I don't think she's drunk from it, but like, you know, there's a lot happening in her system and you just drop her off. No, I would be like, no, girl, you coming home with me. Like, it's probably better that you're with us and maybe not your mom who's going to go ballistic when she sees you stumbling in the house. But no, nothing ever happens. It's just all good and go lucky. I don't know what it is with showers in this show, but you mean to tell me, and assumably this kid lives alone, because I don't know. We don't know if he's living in a house, living with his parents. We don't know. He doesn't care to tell us, but assumably that's his own bathroom. She doesn't even ask for like a rag or like something to wash herself with. She's just gonna use her hands with like bar soap. Like, yuck. And when this girl took 4 pills, 4 pills of anything, I feel like is overdoing it. 4 pills of Tylenol, no, like 4, 3, okay, like that's a lot, but like 4 is an uncomfy number when taking any pill, anything. When Maddie blew up at Nate, when Nate didn't even want to be there, it was just uncomfortable. I was just like, I felt like I was in the hot tub. And she blew up at him for no reason. Like, no reason at all. Like, girl, if I was Maddie's friend, I would have been like, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. Don't do this right now. This is weird. We're all in the hot tub just trying to have a good time. And you're screaming at the man. And he didn't even want to get in the first place. Like, don't make it weird. She's talking about getting back together with him, but it's clear that she just has pure resentment for this kid. Now, back to Jules and Elliot, whatever. He's saying, hold on. And Jules is like, I don't want to talk about it. Don't think about it. No, like, not listening to him, protesting, like, wait. Jules, baby, if he's protesting this many times and you're just like, oh, don't think about it, it's not about what you're doing. He probably just doesn't want to do it at all. Like, what? This is before, like, the next line. But even if he was protesting that much, stop. Stop. I was very uncomfortable watching that. I was like, girl, he said, wait, take a beat. Damn. Have we not heard of consent? Or he's now confessing Rue's not sober. But, like, we knew that. We knew that. Like, being sober isn't smoking a little bit of weed. You cannot say you're sober if you're smoking a little bit of weed. You cannot say you're sober if you take a sip of. That's not being sober. Why are we shocked? We seen her drink that beer. We're shocked. We're shocked. I just don't understand why we're pretending. Like, he doesn't owe Jules anything. Like, he's only saying this to clear his conscience before sleeping with his friend's girlfriend. I don't know. Did he lie if he just didn't bring it up? He doesn't owe Jules or Rue anything. So why would that be considered lying? How close are they? It's only, in my mind, it's only been like a week. Like, I don't understand. Like, and now the whole scene, the I'm tired scene, you know, with the singing, I only have things of what could have made it cooler. Like, what would have been cooler is that, like, everyone's at church. It would have made sense if that was like her funeral. Like, she's seeing her future. Like, this is a wake-up call. But no, what would have made sense is, we all know that it's Labyrinth singing. Why he was there doesn't make any sense. But what would have been cool is that if it was her dad singing and her dad was to embrace her. Like, we do see some of her dad, yeah. But it would have made more sense if instead of Labyrinth, it was her dad. Personally, to me, in my opinion. They made it a point in the show to say that it's not because of her dad she did. Like, she says, it's like, oh, I didn't do because of my dad. Like, no, that's not the reason. That's not the reason. Then what is the reason? Because everything else, all the evidence is pointing it's because of your dad. So if that's not the reason why you're doing it, what is? Because everything else up until this point, up until her denying it, was saying, oh, she did drugs because of the trauma of her dad. Child, it's just odd. Like, it's odd. I wish we saw more of her and her dad's relationship, like, I don't know, flashbacks or something, because then maybe I would feel genuinely bad. Like, I can feel sympathy for her, but I cannot, and I can empathize with her, but I don't feel bad. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's sad. But I don't know her dad. Like, I feel like we should have at least got to know her dad on more of a personal level and see their relationship or pictures or something, hear stories or something. We just know her dad died of cancer. Aww. And apparently he was a good guy. That scene would have been just that much stronger if I could truly feel her sorrow. I was just sad for her. When Cal came in and he was like straining to pee, he needs to get that checked out. It should not be that hard to relieve yourself, sir. Cal's monologue was just strange. No character development, nothing. It was just odd. I was literally one of the kids, one of the parents, his wife, because it was just weird. I don't understand. There was no character development, nothing to it. Was he on? No, I just think he was and he hit his head. Okay. But like, it was very deranged. It was like, I didn't get it. And I totally how come this is the first time I'm seeing Nate's brother? I totally forgot he had a brother. It's stuff like that. And where I feel like Nate should have been angry. Like, he's supposedly so very angry. In every other instance, we see how angry he gets and how angry he is. Except for this time where his whole issue is with his dad. He should at least punch the hole in the wall. Something. Like, the man did not say one word. And I just felt like that was so out of character. I don't know. I didn't like it. And when Cal was going in on the type of, like, why was he going in on Nate's brother like that? We don't kink shame around here, even though it was nasty. But I was just like, why did we need to know that? Is there a reason that we need to know that? No. And then, yeah, I seen that there were 3 kids in the portrait. My theory was originally that it was Ash, because, like, where did Ash come from, right? That was the whole thing. We all know how that ends because they're talking about secrets and everything. But I just felt like it would have made sense if it was Ash. And I mean, it could still very be Ash, but Nate's name is Nathaniel. At this point, I always get names wrong. But when they said Nathaniel, I'm like, who? Nathaniel? And again, I say, I don't understand the symbolism. With good TV and symbolism, I should know why things are happening. I just didn't understand a lot of the symbolism. But the thing is, if you were to ask me about Euphoria, if someone said, oh, what's Euphoria about? The only storyline I could tell is Rue's, but there is so much more that happens that Rue isn't even like the main focus. I mean, she is in some ways, but I feel like she doesn't get more screen time than others, is what I'm trying to say. But besides Rue's plot, everyone else's plot just doesn't make sense. I wouldn't know how to explain it. Like, I can't. The storylines are very unexpected and unpredictable, but like not in a good way. So those are all my notes. If you guys stuck around for this long, thank you for watching, and definitely leave a comment down below on literally anything. Read me to filth, say I got it wrong, agree with me. I want to know and I want to hear from you guys. I hope you guys liked this video, and I'll see you in the next one.